What's up everyone, it is Lo, Beauty Demon, and we are back to talk about internet BS. Today we're going to be talking about a family vlog channel and the subsequent offshoot channels, OkBaby and then K-Baby, which is Kira, and then I can't remember, is Oscar's channel just named Oscar Morales? Whatever, it doesn't matter, we'll look at it in a minute. But before we get into that, if you have not already, please don't forget to like and subscribe and hit the bell icon so you get a notification every time I post. And don't send anyone that we talk about in this video any hate, negativity, nothing like that. These are just my thoughts and opinions based on what I'm seeing play out on the internet. So if you have something to say about what we're talking about, just shoot it down in the comments below. That's what the comments are there for. Okay, so jumping into OkBaby, I think I briefly mentioned Kira, which is the mom of the channel, in the video that I made about Nashville where Jessa Fam was followed and things like that because she was there. Kira and her former fiance, Oscar Morales, they were teen parents. They had their youngest child, well, 6 years ago. He's six or seven now. They had him when they were actually, I think, literally just turning 18. They were going through graduating high school and everything, and they had been together ever since. They're now 25. They have had 3 more children. So Kira is a mother of 4. Oscar is her former fiance. So being 25 with 4 children, that's a lot. I applaud anybody for that. That seems so friggin' difficult. Even just 1 kid before, at 25 sounds really difficult. They were, your average family vlogger channel. I feel like they really overshare a lot of things, maybe even more than other family vloggers I've seen in some instances. But just like any other family vlogger channel, they projected that they were happy, trips, going to Disney, all the fun vlog stuff. But on January 7th of this year, 2022, they actually uploaded a video on YouTube that was titled "We Broke Up," and the internet did have a lot to say about it. A lot of people just destroyed this video and destroyed their breakup announcement, which is, to say the word breakup announcement does just sound kind of weird. But this video was filmed very quickly after their breakup, so it's very clear that at least Oscar was still greatly processing it, even though he said he's processed it and he'd moved on, because they said in the video that they actually broke up the day after Christmas at Disneyland. First of all, going to Disneyland over Christmas sounds like, I'm not even a Disney fan, but that sounds like a dream come true, and to be able to afford that is crazy. But then also to get dumped there. But this video was posted on January 7th, and maybe they filmed it a day or 2 before. So this video was about 2 weeks after they broke up. That's not a long time, especially considering they were together for what they say was 7 years. They've been doing a lot of Q&As, so watching this and other Q&As, it's so painfully obvious to me that Kira just does not know how to communicate at all with Oscar, because she expresses something that she's felt or that she's been dealing with, and she's literally saying this to the first time with Oscar. She might argue that she's been saying this all the time and he just never listens. Maybe her approach is different and that's why maybe he's listening now, or maybe it's because he's really forced to listen because they're filming a Q&A for their YouTube channel, which is kind of screwed up if you think wow, the only way somebody can have a constructive conversation with their partner is if they're filming a YouTube video. It seemed to me, it was clear this was the first time he was really getting some of this information. I'm no relationship expert or anything, but you do have to communicate with your partner. They aren't mind readers. Sometimes we think that our partner just knows everything that's going on in our head because we've been so in tune with them before. People don't know what you need if you don't express it. And when you don't express things and they're not giving you what you need, you sometimes make up these stories or these scenarios in your head where you're filling in the blanks of why they're not fulfilling that need when really they just don't know. They just don't know. I don't know if any of that made sense, but I hope you're following along. Anyway, my point is communication, though it is very difficult, it is one of the big foundational structures of any good relationship. The reason this video got a lot of attention, it got over 1.5 million views, I cannot imagine. That is honestly kind of mortifying to me. If my husband and I posted a video on YouTube that we broke up and it got over 1 million views, cool, I guess we'll split that money, but that's the most awkward thing. The reason it got a lot of attention, and Kira specifically got a lot of hate, was the way she was acting. She was laughing. Sometimes she would poke fun at him when he seemed like uncomfortable. Cause like I said, this video was like 2 weeks, less than 2 weeks after the breakup. So though she's kind of been processing these feelings for a while and now is probably experiencing a lot of relief, he's still like actually still processing that his life is completely different, completely changed. It may not still have fully set in for him, but she's like laughing. She was even acting like slightly flirtatious with him too, which was like kind of weird, but she was also talking over him a lot. Whenever he would start to express something, she would jump in and start to express it for him instead of letting him form his own thoughts about things. And the problem is that she was dumping a lot of new information on him. So he seems like the kind of person that has to sit back and process something before he really knows how he feels about it, which like, I get that. I'm kind of like that too, which is why my video uploads are a little slower than usual. They did also discuss that there was technically no cheating, no like what I would consider like what they think like physical cheating, traditional cheating happening in relationship. There was a time when Kira was getting a little too close to another person, another man, and Oscar did consider it some level of cheating. It's obvious he did, or at least like a violation of his trust in Kira. But at the point of making this breakup video, they were still gonna live together. They were still gonna share finances. Like, what the hell? And they were gonna do taxes together? How do people who aren't married file joint taxes? I don't really need to know that. And also, they live in Utah, so that could be a whole different ballpark right there. But it seemed like Kira just like didn't like the stuff that Oscar liked. Like she expressed, like, you like all this adrenaline stuff, you like snowboarding and you like going on dirt bikes or like whatever she said. I don't know. They're not exactly the most entertaining people to watch, so it was a little difficult at times, but she just wasn't into the things that Oscar was into. And that's legit. Sometimes you just like fall into these life things and then you realize, holy crap, I don't really like this person. Also, the fact that she had 4 kids before the age of 25, I think a lot of it was focused around like starting the family, having babies. They really didn't give much thought to like, who are we as people? Like, what do we like to do? Like, how can we grow together? You know, that kind of thing. It would have behooved them maybe to have these internal dialogues with themselves a little earlier, but like 25, I feel like is generally the age when you're like, okay, I've kind of figured out what I want to do and what I don't want to put up with. So like, I get where she is in terms of like wanting to split up with him. If you're not happy in a relationship, you're not happy in a relationship. To sum all that up, what it seems like to me is they got together really young, had a baby, then continued having babies, got successful on YouTube while having babies because of having babies. So they didn't really have to take the time to figure out if they were even compatible with each other. What I find most concerning in this pattern of Kira just not communicating is the fact that Kira's not communicating with her children. Now, her oldest son is 6, so he is very aware of what's going on. I'm gonna tell you this right now. 6-year-olds are in the 1st grade. They're smart. They know what's up. They can observe everything. And then their second oldest child, their daughter, is 5. She gets it. She knows what's up. And probably even the 3-year-old. And then they do also have a baby that's 1. So the baby maybe a little bit, but is really not going to remember any time of when mom was together. But the concerning part is that they don't have these conversations with their kids. Kira said in this video about them breaking up that she wasn't worried about all of the kids through all of this. But in reality, they should be the top priority. You need to be making sure that these kids have a few things set up. Because now you have 4 kids, you never got married, and you've split up, and they seem to be bumbling around as to like how they're gonna be separating the kids in time. Girl, you need to get a legal custody agreement set in place, because as I will talk about later, Oscar is talking about moving to all different random places. He's floating around moving to Florida 1 minute and California the next, opposite sides of the country while they live in Utah. You need to get a legal custody agreement in place. Otherwise, right now, you both have complete open arrangements to the children. You could just take your kids and go to another state. Or Kira could completely withhold the children from Oscar so he could never see them. And then it could be a long, lengthy thing. I also personally think even if you're with somebody in a fully committed relationship, if you've had children and you are not like married or like legally bound in some way, like a civil union or whatever, there should be some sort of custody arrangement in place. And yes, that does include child support, but like when you're in a committed relationship with somebody, like you could have your child support set to like $75. Like that's really not a lot. If you were a committed, loving, devoted person with within this relationship, you would have already been spending that money on the kid anyway. And then also making sure that the kids are talked to, that they have a clear understanding of what's going on, because eventually we will also discuss the fact that one of these parents do move out, even though they say they're gonna live together, and that's very confusing to a kid when another parent moves out. They think it's about them, because kids, the world is them, and we all live in their world, so they of course think that they are responsible for the reason their parent left in the first place. So I really think like getting some kind of like therapy of some sort, like of course age appropriate. I'm not saying that like their 5-year-old has to sit in like a therapist and talk about this. Like they just need to be able to understand what's going on, or just like basic communication with your kid, Kira, because all of that advice that I just gave is really about their child's best interest. But what Kira and Oscar are doing are not in their children's best interest. So then they did a follow-up Q&A to their breakup video. Of course, they had so many things to comment on. Kira does follow up and clarifies they did not tell the children in this, and that the children don't know. They have no idea that mom and dad are broken up, except for dad now is in a different room down in the basement. Except for one, their place is really echoey. Two, in the breakup video, you can hear their kids like laughing and stuff in the background, so you know their kids heard this. And three, in this follow-up Q&A, you can actually see some of their kids in the background in the hallway, kind of like opening the door, seeing what mommy and daddy are doing. Number one was this place is really echoey, so they surely know what's going on and can hear everything. And like I said, their two oldest kids are very smart, and she does address in another Q&A. She's all about the Q&As. It's just like people treat kids like they're stupid. Kids are not stupid. They're just learning how to interpret the world, and they understand what's going on. They observe way more than you even know. It's like people forgot what it was like to be a kid. And then Kira does also kind of revisit this in a more recent Q&A that she just posted on her channel. They still haven't had any kind of conversations with the kids. This is months have gone by now. She thinks that they probably know, at least like the two older kids probably know what's up, but she still doesn't talk to them. She just completely avoids having any sort of communication except for through a camera to her YouTube channel. Like honestly, it's like, girl, you need to talk to your family. That is what is happening, the entire breakdown of communication here. It's painfully obvious that her kids know what's going on. I watched a vlog where they were making pancakes, and it's written all over his face. Like the oldest son, I believe his name is Levi, he looks visibly sad because Kira did eventually move out, and they milked the hell out of that with like multiple vlogs over on their OkBaby channel and then on her personal channel. He knew like mom doesn't live here anymore, and it was very sad to him, I think, that mom was there cooking breakfast in the house that she used to live in, but she wasn't going to be there the whole time. It just hurt. It hurt to see how sad that little boy was looking at his mom and his dad. So yes, since the split, Kira has moved into her own apartment. Oscar stayed in the home and the kids live with him, and then they like switch weeks. It's odd to me that Kira is the one that moved out into like a small apartment. Now, I'm not trying to mom shame, and I'm also not saying Oscar is not a capable, functioning parent and cannot take care of these kids. He's obviously doing a fine job. Well, I mean, he seems to be feeding them terrible food. Like they think they get McDonald's for breakfast like quite a bit. I've seen it a couple times, so, but whatever. Like he's got 4 kids. I probably would do that too. It just seems strange to me that Kira, the mother, is the one that moved out, especially because there is like a baby. Like their youngest kid is, I think, like maybe just turned 1, maybe is like, I don't know. It's really hard for me to tell. Like she is walking. There's so many stairs at her new apartment. Like it makes me so nervous. She actually left her baby climbing up these hardwood floor stairs, and the entire time I was like freaking out, honestly. It was just like the short vlog where she was like showing her kids her apartment, and girl, that made me nervous. I understand like moms know and understand their kids' limits, but I'm like, it's the first time this little girl's ever been on the stairs. These are scary stairs. Like I would be scared. And then she's like this big. Well, she's like maybe that big. Anyway, it's weird to me that the mother is the one that moved out and left her 4 kids there. And it definitely seems like this is like a soul searching identity crisis thing for Kira. It is obvious, and she talks about how she is struggling. So Kira definitely seems to need a space that is her own. I understand that. I just found it strange that she left the kids behind, especially the baby, like the baby. And like I said, once again, I'm not trying to mom shame. Everybody's different, but I just know when my mom decided that she was leaving my dad and was moving out, she didn't leave me. But it definitely seems like, you know, Kira wanted a space that was all her own. It's not to say that her kids aren't there. Like, they do now have a on week, off week, you know, rotating the children. But in like an update Q&A, because they have so many update Q&As, I'm not gonna lie, they had a different arrangement previously, which seemed extremely confusing, first of all. And second of all, it seemed to really annoy them, more so Oscar, because he wants to travel and live his best life. And not to say that they don't love their kids, but it does also seem like they feel a little burdened by them now that they are free from their partner and they're in their early to mid 20s. They want to go out and explore life. And since the split up, they have both become more active on their separate social medias. Oscar is posting tons of thirst trap pictures, and Kira has been doing tons of IG lives, and also has or had, I don't know if this podcast is still going on, but it's called Beneath the Sheets, and she did it with her friend Hannah, where they talked about sex and dating and gave advice. I wouldn't take dating advice from Kira, who her last partner was her most long-term partner, was somebody that she started dating in high school. So her only dating experience is like a middle school and high school relationship. I don't know, I just don't think I would be taking dating advice from her. They did a super cringy podcast with Oscar and Hannah's boyfriend, Preston, that's his name. And looking at what Kira and Oscar are wearing, you can see that this podcast was recorded the same day they recorded the We Broke Up video. I cannot break down this whole podcast episode. It is one of the worst things I have ever listened to. The way Kira spoke to him, I think, like, solidified people's thoughts of her and how she treated Oscar. And she was obviously very intoxicated. And this other guy, Preston, was trying so hard to be like, hey, we're not your therapist. But it just started getting really bad. Sincerely, Sharon did actually a very good video about it, because I couldn't listen to the cringe myself, so I listened to it through a filter for commentating about it. But what's very apparent is that, and she says this in a video too, like, Kira says she doesn't know what her own identity is because she did not take the time to fully, like, grow it in the time that you would be learning who you are. She was being mom. She didn't get to figure out who she was. She did a very interesting Q&A on her OkBaby channel, being candid about her OCD diagnosis, her struggles, how she is coping with things, journaling, actually, like, confronting emotions and feeling them and, you know, working through them instead of just avoiding them. This video did make her come across as very mature and thoughtful, but then she does, like, completely derail this in so many other videos, so I just didn't give it too much credence. She has expressed on her Instagram live and answered this in Q&As too. She has thought about starting an OnlyFans. I think just recently in her last Q&A she said she's not gonna do it, but she goes back and forth with it. She apparently is going through the breast augmentation. I think all that is fine. If you want to get your boobs done and you want to do OnlyFans, like, that is great, but I just want to make sure that Kira is coming from, like, the best place when doing OnlyFans, because Kira, you know, is coming out of a relationship where it seems like, at least like what she's saying, she didn't feel like she was appreciated, desired, wanted by her partner. So I wouldn't want her to jump into doing, like, adult entertainment stuff like OnlyFans and then showing more than she's actually really comfortable with, because she's just getting, you know, attention and adoration and all that kind of stuff, you know, and just filling that void. But then again, maybe that is the perfect reason for her to do OnlyFans, and I am completely wrong in that thought. There could be a million and one reasons why people do OnlyFans. It's just to make sure that it's really right for you. But it is weird because, like, she's a mom from a family vlog channel, so, like, a lot of her fans are, well, her current fans anyway, are, like, kids and other moms, or, like, maybe even just, like, teenagers, so it's like, who's gonna look at this? Then again, there is a whole MILF community. I just worry that she sees, like, sexual liberation as being, like, yes, putting it out on the internet and being on OnlyFans, and there's so many other ways to be sexually liberated and not do that sort of stuff, you know? But, you know, also, girl's got 4 kids, and OF does bring in that money, so girl, you do you. I'm really not gonna judge anybody for doing OnlyFans. Meanwhile, while Kira is, like, on Instagram, at home, mostly just, like, I don't know, Kira just doesn't seem to be doing, like, a whole hell of a lot. Just, like, getting her life in order is really what it seems like. So on the other flip side, Oscar, in addition to posting all these thirst trap pictures, is traveling around to see his friend in Florida, going to California, going to Las Vegas, seeing family in Mexico, hanging out with the vlog squad, and this family channel KK and Baby J, who I've tried watching them because I wanted to do a deep dive about a lawsuit that was filed by them, but honestly, these people are so boring. They're even, oh my god, it's hard. And so in addition to hanging out with the vlog squad and hanging out with KK and Baby J, the mom of that channel, Kieran, I think is her name. Oscar is apparently best friends with Koa, the father, and Kieran is friends with somebody from the vlog squad, Karina Kampf, who, like, she's just like a vapid influencer that I really just don't pay any attention to, but is friends with David Dobrik. And apparently there is some sort of entanglement happening between Oscar and Karina. They have been spotted, you know, doing vlogging things together. They are liking each other's pictures. So there's a lot of like commotion with that. And that also leads to something that happened just a couple days ago, which I popped into this Instagram live. I don't really watch a lot of Instagram lives. I'm trying to be better about it, you guys, because I know like that's where all the tea happens. But I did pop onto this because Kieran Swan actually did an Instagram live and she was wasted. And you could only see like from here up. So I just was like, I'm not paying attention to this. But the people in the Instagram live with her were Oscar and Karina. Hey guys, quick thing from future me, editing me, whatever you want to call me. I have since watched that live that I just mentioned, and holy crap, a lot of things were said, so I might actually do a little follow-up video this weekend about that, and I have a couple more video ideas coming, but yeah, I just felt like I had to put something in here real quick to let you guys know I did actually see what happened in that live. So back to your regularly scheduled video. So these weeks on, weeks off seem to work well for Oscar because then Oscar can go and hang out with other vlogger friends and family channels and has really built up his channel. He's only got like 4 videos, but he's got a ton of subscribers and he's like traveling to these beautiful locations and stuff. Though he is like just an annoying influencer, so like take that aspect out. Like he did capture a whale jumping in the water in a video and I was like, that's effing sick. That's so cool. Yeah, his content is way more interesting and the internet is siding with him a lot and picking apart what Kira is doing so much more. I will say the weeks on, weeks off is working well for Kira regardless of what week it is though, because she did reveal in an Instagram live recently. This Instagram live was during the day. It was her week, but Oscar was on vacation. If I'm remembering this correctly, because I didn't write this down and she goes live a lot. During the day, she still takes the kids over to Oscar's house because the nanny is there and their son likes to ride the school bus and it only stops by Oscar's house. When like really if, you know, getting your kid on the bus was like that important to you, like he loves that experience so much, you could just drive there and sit and wait yourself for the bus for like a couple minutes. Have the nanny come to your house and take care of the kids, right? It's just weird to me that even when it's her week, she just sends the kids over to Oscar's house because she doesn't want to spend the day with them because she's got so much work to do. But the nanny could just come over to her apartment and take care of the kids while she's doing that work because it is her week. And that kind of like comes back to the whole like legal custody agreement sort of situation. But she does make it sound like it's a regular thing too. So Oscar has been talking about moving out of Utah as well, like Florida or California. He really needs to figure that out because splitting 4 kids between separate states is going to be really hard, and get that legal custody agreement in place, especially if you are moving out of state. It does look like they have finally split finances though, which is very smart. Yeah, don't share finances with somebody you're not married to yet, you guys. It kind of seems like they are finding their new normal in a sense. I just hope sometime soon they have a real conversation with their kids. Kira needs to learn how to communicate with her children. She needs to learn how to communicate, period, because part of the reason this relationship broke down is Kira does not communicate with Oscar until a camera's in front of them. Thinks her children barely understand what's going on, and I'm sure they have a complete full understanding of what's happening. Feel more relieved that it's coming from you and it's not some story that they're making up in their head that they're the reason this is happening. Was there anything else that I wanted to add in this video? Honestly, I feel like there was, but oh, that's the other thing. They still are doing the family vlog channel. They just have their own separate channels as well. So they have OkBaby and they like alternate when they're posting. Kira, on the other hand, seems to be having more of a concern, or not concern, but more of like a confusion of like, what am I going to post where? If it's something that involves your children, put it on the OkBaby channel. She did 2 interviews with 2 of her daughters, her 5-year-old and her 3-year-old. And she put it on her OkBaby channel. Put it on at least the appropriate channel, because she also talks about like vibrators and shit on this other channel. It also makes me wonder if like they both have these separate channels that they're making money off of, and then there's the OkBaby channel. Does the money from the OkBaby channel go to their children? Because they should be putting a chunk of it back. I might make like a whole other video about like Coogan laws sometime soon, because I've already talked about it a little bit in a video. I don't know. There's just like a lot of confusion going on with this family. They need communication, the kids need consistency, and they need to figure out what the hell they're doing and where they're living, either if they're moving to the same state together or what's going on. And they need to do it quickly because their kids are going to start getting older and they're all going to get into school soon. It's going to be way harder to move them. I am talking like I have a bajillion children. I have 3 cats. Anyway, that is it for today's video. If you haven't already, please don't forget to like and subscribe. I will see you guys next time. Laters. Bye.